Tremendous sermon today, really wonderful.
Wow, thanks.
But I was thinking, is humility something we can achieve, or is it a continual kind of process in our life? And does God use experiences He brings, or the other people bring to our lives, to cause us to be driven back to this truth of humility?
Boy, you're asking two great questions, and one's really easy to answer, and the other one's really hard to answer. And the first one, obviously, is that certainly humility is I don't think anybody ever arrives. In fact, one could say that if you did say you would arrive, you weren't very humble, right? So, humility is definitely not an event. It's a process of increasingly becoming more like Christ and being self-sacrificial and giving the glory to God.
You think sometimes we take 2 steps forward and 1 backwards in that area?
Sometimes I take 1 step forward and 2 steps backward.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, really, I do. And so you ebb and flow with humility, right? And just like we do in all other areas of our lives. The second question I'd love to talk to you about, Dale, because I think you have had a tremendous amount of experience through your pastoral career, as well as through many situations you've had where you've had some difficult times, and the Lord has wrought a real humility of spirit through difficulty in your life.
It's true, and I think, every time pride goes before a fall, every time you get to feeling like you're somebody that you're not,
right?
It seems like there's something comes into life that you need that attitude adjustment to really change you,
Isn't that really true?
Yeah, but sometimes even things where you're successful are harder to handle than some of the things that are difficult in your life.
Yeah.
But even then, I think we have to once again be reminded who gave us this blessing, this success in our life, and where did it come from, and how did it come? It came from God. He gave Him the glory.
Did you think of that a lot during the, as you know, I know a lot about your history because I used to go to conferences that you would run back in the early days of me being a pastor, and you were then pastoring a huge, thousands of member church, and when there weren't very large churches, and then you went on to run the Beeson Institute of Church Growth and train pastors, and so God has used you so profoundly. But you just said, but there's times when you would start to read your own press releases.
Yeah, that's not good.
And that's not a good thing.
No.
Yeah, and so if you found that pastors and really all of us need to be just so careful on that level.
Be reminded that everything good comes from God, and my purpose is to give glory back to Him.
Yep.
And to bless other people, not to make my own self come up, but always we have to remember that descending down that Jesus teaches us, models for us,
I think that helps when we do that for all of us. It helps in how we then approach other people, because they don't sense arrogance from us. They don't sense that we're better from them. They don't sense condescension or anything like that. They sense that we're with them, we love them, and that, so whether it's your child, your spouse, your friend, your coworker, your neighbor, your work associate, they all sense that there's just a genuine love that you have for them when you don't allow that kind of arrogance to invade your soul.
It really helps in our relationships, doesn't it, when we practice humility?
Yep, it really does. It really does. So I hope that you all would just continue to incorporate this in your lives as well. And let's all be in this together, this idea of just rallying around humility. I really believe that if more Christians were known for their humility and not just fighting the culture wars, known for their humility, not just their heightened moral values, known for their humility, not just their great doctrine. If we would be known more for our humility than anything else, we would not have a problem with evangelism. We'd not have a problem with church growth. We would not have a problem with changing culture even at the end, because humility is what wins the day when it comes to God and His kingdom. So this was a watershed day for our church to just rally around humility, and I just pray that God does great things in our lives and our church as a result.